Hi, and welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Fong.
Today we want to talk about tips and strategies for growing your business in 2019. John, there's so many things going on, right? With businesses, we got to be on. Businesses owners have to be on top of trends, how to grow the business. Let's talk about a few of those things today.
Sure. First off, I think having a website today is very vital to any local business. Just like having a telephone number and having an email address, having a website, which is a visual representation digitally for you, you can put a lot of information on there.
Yeah.
But having a standout homepage,
Right.
which is the first page when someone clicks on your website, what do they see? What do you need on there,
That's right.
Roger?
And as a consumer looking for your business, whatever you are, if you're a landscaper, a lawyer, pizza maker, that homepage is so important because think of the consumer. They want to make a decision. They're going to choose someone to buy from. They're ready to buy. It's the content on your homepage. It's got to hit them hard. Number one, make a phone number large. Make it burst so they know, call right now. So sort of a call to action. Then you really want to talk, and John, we've been speaking about the concept of the EAT, which is EAT, which stands for expertise, authority, and trust. So on that home page, how do we get that across to them?
So tell them how many years of experience you've been in the industry.
Right.
Who is your ideal customer? If you have some sort of designation or certifications, let people know, kind of sell yourself, because this is where they see you and this is your first visual representation as a company.
And I guess really it's answering their questions.
Yes.
Because if you were a consumer and you're going to choose someone, you want to know, well, if I'm going to choose one, is he close by or is she close by? Do they have experience? Are they industry leaders? Are they credible? Are they large enough they can serve me? All these questions they have really fall under the EAT or the EAT philosophy.
So having images on your homepage that are relevant to what your consumers are looking for, right? Very important. So, that means you might have to pay additional for a photographer or videographer, someone that actually takes professional images,
Yes.
right? To make yourself stand out,
Yeah.
right? Other things on your homepage that's very important, because this is the first page that Google actually sees on your website. So you need to make sure that it has the most information that's relevant, that satisfies the user's intent and
Yes.
query.
And that turns into a conversion. And that conversion can be a phone call. That's probably the most powerful. Although some people like to email and get a message out there. But truly, the type of businesses that we focus and we help are the ones that want businesses that want a regular, steady stream of ready-to-buy customers. So answer the questions on a home page, strengthen that home page, and that's how you're going to convert and turn more inquiries into sales.
And a couple of things that you may want to add on the homepage are your key services, the ones that you want to really push on your website.
Yes.
And your ideal customers, right? So for a lawyer, you need to focus on your specialties,
Yes.
right? And what do you want to attract? Who are your ideal customers?
Yeah.
Speak to them.
Real estate closings, if you're a real estate specialist. What if you're a personal injury lawyer? Immediacy of here's what my specialty is. Maybe it's family law. You want them to know that you represent fathers, mothers in those proceedings that can happen. You get that message across real quick.
And what's your competitive edge?
Yeah.
What's your competitive advantage? And which markets do you want to service? Right?
Yeah.
So really focus on what that message is on that homepage. And you may want to also put some testimonials and reviews or case studies or video testimonials. Anything that really will get people to convert, which is email you or call you.
Yeah, because there's different types of people use the internet different ways. Some do it for research. Some want to learn more about you. What we're speaking to right now really is those ready-to-buy customers that are going to make a decision. Make it easy for them to find you. We're going to speak next about going deeper into your website and adding rich content such as blogging, and that'll come up in a moment. But just to wrap this up for your homepage, you can increase your sales. You can increase your business by simply making your website, your homepage, the most powerful it can be and answer all those questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about is blog. How important a blog is to a website, because this is where you're adding fresh, relevant information and content, so that people can eventually or might see you.
Yes.
Right? It allows you to be, an expert in your field.
I call it news you can use. So it's just fresh, real content. Here at Local SEO Search, John, we do it for our clients. We research and write for them. What do you like in terms of numbers per month? What do you like to get out there?
As long as you're writing at least one blog a month, fresh content, well-researched, don't focus so much on the SEO component. Focus on providing rich content that will satisfy the user's intent,
Sure.
right? Because ultimately what you're trying to do is be the expert at whatever you're doing, right? And Google will recognize that.
Yep.
And as long as it has the ability to be amplified,
Yes.
which is engaged, shared on social, and other people are talking and mentioning
Right.
about your site because of this post. That's where you want to be seen in terms of trying to provide the best blog.
So we'll put the blogs, we talk about them, adding rich content to the website, but that's where you can syndicate and push it to Facebook,
Yes.
push it to Instagram, push it to other social media sites. Google likes that. They give businesses, extra points, so to speak. It's one of the signals they're looking for is that social aspect. So better blogs for 2019.
And not just rich content, you need infographics or images that will actually make it visual.
Yes.
Because people love videos
Yes.
and people love images. So you need to make sure that it's engaging.
Sure.
In some sense, because people get bored just reading content, right? And then the next point, after the blog, which gets written at least once a month, what are your plans to really grow your business for 2019?
Sure.
Right? So it could be simple things as expanding some of the services that you're offering.
Yes.
Or expanding some of the markets that you want to get into.
That's it.
Right?
I talk to clients all the time, and certainly if they're in the service-based industry, if you've got vehicles that are on the road, or you're working in different parts of the city, you've got lots of activity going on. If you're already in that part of the city or the part of your region, what can you do to be more efficient with your people, your vehicles while you're out there? Let's say you're a roofing company. If you're already at the site and you're out there, you could think about adding other services that the homeowner is going to require anyway. So why not add soffit and fascia? Why not add other things like, windows and doors? We're already out there. Think about, yes, you want to stick to your core strengths, never lose sight of that, but different services you can provide, make yourself more efficient.
And there's pros and cons to that, of course, because you may not want to do everything yourself and in-house all the services. So you may have a subcontractor or a partner company doing the work. But what kind of reputation do they have, right? Because ultimately it's your name on the line.
Yes.
So make sure who you're partnering with is trustworthy and provides the best quality, service, everything else that you're looking for in a reputable business.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and again, this is all ideas about how to grow your business. Another one is scalability. How do you take your business that you've got today? Every business needs to understand, and this is a survey from many, many years ago, but it's still appropriate today. Every decade, a business loses 90% of their clients. And you just think about that for a moment. If you're in the retail business, you need to be replacing people that have moved away, people that don't need your services anymore, because everything that has to do with life events, after you've had your kids, you don't need to be looking for daycare, et cetera, et cetera. You move on. Those businesses need to replace the clients and customers. They don't require them anymore. So think of what do I do to replace these customers?
So very important aspect of trying to continue growing and testing the market and trying different things, because every business will operate differently, and people are going to take risks. People that are very stagnant and not willing to try different things will probably not be very successful. If they rely on one source of new leads, and what happens when that no longer exists or the medium no longer gets published? So for instance, today local newspapers still exist in some markets, but just recently some of these large chains are cutting down their subscriptions of delivery of some of these newspapers. just because of the cost and the revenue aren't sustaining it. So if you relied on that print medium to get you through X amount of years, you have to look outside of that and see what else is out there.
Yes.
For
What
your
people are
business.
using, those ready-to-buy customers that need that service, whatever it is. And it could be, I need legal services for a real estate transaction. I need furniture, appliance repair, something for my home. There's so many aspects of these life events that we call it that you need, and people are out there searching right now.
So another thing to mention is do not be afraid to fail, right? Because what's the worst that will happen? So for instance, as a small business owner, go out there, network, go out there, talk to more people, let people know what you're doing. What's the worst that will happen? They're not interested or they don't have time.
Yep.
But if you don't go out there and expand your reach, how do you know that they aren't interested?
That's right. And even really trying different services, maybe adding something to the line of business you're doing right now. It's not a risk, it's an education. So don't worry about, I spent some money and it did not work. You actually got an education by trying different things. Again, you'll always focus, never lose sight of your core competencies and what your core business is. But to grow your business in 2019, you got to be willing to try different things. It's a risk, but it's really an education at the same time. So don't be afraid of it.
Exactly. So early on in a small business, you probably have a lot more time and less resources. So you should be out there letting people know what you're offering. But as the years go by and you have more resources, you're willing to advertise or spend to save you time. So expand your reach, expand your market, try flyers, try community events, try advertising, putting a website out there, doing different types of advertising, marketing, right? Hiring people, because you never know until you try.
That's right. So a service-based business that have technicians, if you have technicians that live in different parts of the city, you could efficiently open a new market. If you've got good staff, it makes it easy for them to get out and do the work. They're not sitting in vehicles traveling across the city all day. So they're focused and they're productive. Then you've got happy employees because they're not sitting in trucks all day. What if you're a retail business? You've got a physical location and you're seeing a lot of activity in another community. That's another strategic thing you can look at, is to say, there's work and there's business to be had in another market. Do I grow my business that way? So you can maybe test the market. John, you don't need to necessarily build a building or take on a lease, but you could try serving an area.
Yes. So depending on what kind of industry you're in, if you're service-based or product-based, right?
Exactly.
So, there's pop-up shops if you have a product, or you can actually lease, rental, or sublease partial storefronts, right? So another thing to really that you might want to do is make sure that you learn as much as you can. Stay on top of what's going on in your industry.
Yes. Continued education.
Yes.
Self-education. Yeah.
So being smart and knowing what's out there, right? And try to be the best you can for your given product or service. Yeah. Right?
There are some industries that you have to have certain credentials done and things, updated, and they get added to your, really, I guess it's like your ticket, so to speak. We did the trade show for the tree industry earlier this year, and many of the attendants there were there getting credits towards their, competencies and getting their certifications. So things like continued learning. If you're the business owner, stay on top financially. There's lots of stuff online you can learn. So be financially savvy, what's going on. Look at the trends. Just Google it and stay leading edge on your business and continue to invest in yourself.
And there might be systems or software that will actually increase your efficiency. So see how you can increase your productivity, work more smart, more efficient, and learn as much as you can, because you are the expert. People are paying you to help them solve a problem, right? So you need to know exactly what options there are, and for you to fulfill that, you need to stay on top of,
Exactly. And do the homework of and most businesses are doing this, but it needs to be reminded. Every business decision you make make sure there's a return on investment, an ROI. If you're going to expand into a market, make sure there's enough margins there in volume to make it worthwhile to add that vehicle or add that service person or add extra stock that's required for your business, whatever that is. So always make sure you do a business case for that to try a new market. Don't just go out there and say, yes, there's business to be had. If it's only trading dollars, meaning, you advertise and you've put all these expenses out and you're only getting some revenue back, that's not smart. You want to make sure it's a profitable venture, yeah,
for sure. Another thing to really consider in 2019 is what is your backup or redundancy plan in case something happens, right? So if you are a service provider, say a plumber, what is your backup? Do you have staff that if something happens to your existing staff, do you have sub-trades to come in?
Yes.
Do you have equipment? If something breaks, can you have someone else come in and do the work?
Yeah, some redundancies built in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that will happen is there's a client in need, they want to use you, and you cannot offer that service, even though on your website or you are known as the expert.
Yeah. Backup plans. Also, and we all need to do this more, is back up your online. Everyone works online today. The data needs to be saved, whether it goes to a hard drive, etc. Consult an expert. Consult your accountant. Find out, how do I protect my data, my customer base, etc., from being hacked or losing it. It's just good, solid business practice.
Exactly. Because digital, the medium right now, there's so much going on, and as a business owner, you're encompassed with so many activities. So, consult an expert. Make sure your hosting is redundant. Make sure your website's backed up. Make sure your email server is backed up. Your data or customer service backup of all your data, your client list, whatever it may be, right? CRM.
How about this? Your passwords. Just a simple trick. Don't save your passwords, your master list online. Keep it offline in case of an emergency.
Yeah, in case someone hacks you.
There you go.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then the next point I want to mention for 2019 is try to track where your sales are coming from. Because we hear it all the time where when we sign up a client for SEO, they tell us things are good. It's busy. However, they're not actually asking where these clients are coming from.
Yes.
So we provide Google Analytics. We track the website traffic, but in reality, how many of those people are clicking? How many of them are calling? How many are they, inquiring, questioning? Like, there has to be a system in place where you're tracking the effectiveness of each of your mediums, right? Especially if you're advertising in multiple mediums, right? What gives you the best ROI?
That's right.
Right.
The strength and the most power, certainly for our clients that are in service-based businesses that are looking for a steady stream of ready-to-buy customers. When you pick up the phone and you're speaking to someone, it is difficult, and I know our clients tell us they don't want to impose upon a new client and ask them a whole bunch of questions. Where did you look us up? What keywords did you put in there? What made you choose us? But really, you want to ask them, you can say to the client or the potential client, help me help other customers. Could you just let me know, where did you find us today? So these sorts of analytics help you as the business owner get a real understanding of saying, oh, they searched Google, or they were on their phone. Oh, they clicked on something nearby. And these are good data you can use for your business, and I guess really help grow your business that way.
Exactly, Roger.
Yeah.
And the last point, I believe this is point number 10, is make sure you have an annual strategic plan and goals for 2019. So, what do you want to see in terms of revenue? Where do you want to see yourself within 3-6 months versus a year's time? How many people do you need to staff up? How much inventory do you need? If it's service, how many vehicles do you need on the road, right? Plan for it.
Yes.
right? So always think about what's going on in your business that you can do to really grow your business and scale.
In some businesses, and it's different for everyone, but some businesses, and I've worked with over the years, have had a very few number of large clients that keep them going. Strategically for 2019, just be thinking, is it proper to have all my eggs in one basket? The answer to that really, and I always say, is look beyond those core clients. You've got to look at, what if I lose one of those? How do I replace that revenue? So don't rest on, I'm happy, I've got these 3 customers, they keep me as busy as I want. You really need to think, I need to grow my business and have a backup plan in case I lose that client or lose one of those clients. And really it's a matter of sitting there saying, okay, if I need to, and know that in the retail world or retail space, I lose an X number of percentage of clients over a decade anyway. Think of, I need to strategize how to replace those clients.
And I hear this all the time as well from small business owners. They rely strictly on word of mouth. And they're happy with what they've had over the years because everyone knows them.
Yeah.
And you probably hear it all the time. What if they start moving, all these people? What if, something happens to those people? Just like you said, every 10 years, 90% of the businesses need to recuperate and generate new clients for that. So never be stagnant. Always move ahead. Always think of ways to improve your business. Think of the newest, greatest thing, or be the best at what you can be, and try to continue growing. And ultimately, what you want to be is the expert so that you can pick and choose who you want to work with, right? Because then you can focus on who your ideal customer is, what kind of services you want to operate in and help clients for.
Well, thanks, John. This was great today.
Thanks a lot, Roger.
And see you again.
Thank you.